Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. How are you?
I'm great.
You are?
Yes, I got my first COVID vaccination.
Really? I got my first COVID. Well, I got my first injection.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got yours and I got my first one. This is great. I'm like really happy.
Me too.
One more shot to go and we go on vacation.
Yes. Yes. We still have to be concerned about other people. But anyway, shall we get to our topic for this week?
Yes, I'm looking forward to this one.
This week we are talking about ending friendships. It's part of a segment that we call
Stand by your stance.
We came, this wasn't really our idea. We had a caller.
Oh, we did have a caller.
Yes. So we should listen to the call, and it inspired a whole episode about it.
Yes, this is why I'm looking forward to this episode.
Me too. So let's hear it.
All right.
Hi, Jill and Tony. This is Dennis calling. Just heard the season 3, episode 10, when you rub off on each other. But Tony ended with some very interesting observations about how he observes and makes decisions about people that are potential friends. My question for you is, how do you manage those relationships as you get into them, especially if the other person feels that you have become friends and you decide you don't want to continue this relationship? How do you handle it other than just ghosting other people? And on the other side of that issue is, what if you like the person well enough and would continue the relationship, except your partner doesn't like them? What should you do in that case? Looking forward to some answers. Bye.
Well, thank you, Dennis, for that call. We love Dennis, don't we? Dennis and Mary.
Yes,
we love them.
Yes, we do. So they're like our favorite people.
Some of them, yes.
Some of our favorite people.
Yes, definitely. So thank you, Dennis, for that call.
And just for the record, Dennis, we're not going to ghost you.
Well, that brings up an excellent point. Have you ever ghosted someone, sweetheart?
I am really happy that Dennis brought this up because I had a friend that I really liked. I enjoyed spending time with him and our discussions. But you, Jill, never cared for this person. Never really did. You
from day one.
From day one.
I said, Tony, why do you like him? From day one.
Never really cared. But, But
I would hang with both of you and his wife. I would.
Yes.
Occasionally you could convince me to do that.
Yes. So me and this particular person remained friends for many years.
You made friends? You
were friends. I just got my COVID shot and it's got me a little loopy.
I don't think that's one of the side effects, but I
think it is. I was really out of it yesterday after I got my injection.
You were quite fatigued.
I'm recovering a little bit. So people forgive me if I misspeak. So where was I, Jill? So we were friends.
You were saying you were friends for many years.
For many years. And then the dynamic began to change. Now, I won't say how the dynamic changed, but the dynamic became such a way where I could not remain friends with this person. And the question, what really intrigued me with what Dennis said was that how do you remain friends when your partner doesn't particularly care for that person?
Well, you did for many years.
Yeah, and I did for many years, but in the end, Jill was right.
I was right.
In the end, Jill was right. So, how do you handle that situation? Well, right after that situation, I voiced that I really wasn't happy with what that person had done. And they asked me, well, does that mean I crossed the line? Yes, it does. Crossed the line he couldn't come back from. So, so then,
And this
since then,
person had a habit of doing that. That was what
Yeah.
he did with people.
yes, but he hadn't gotten around to me yet.
Right.
But
right.
I've seen him do that to other people, even his own family members.
Yes.
So he finally got around to me, and so for me, that was it. Time to end it. Unfortunate, because I don't have a lot of friends that I actually see on a regular basis or anything like that. So yes, it was unfortunate, but I am not trying to rekindle that relationship in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
So
Yes. And the situation with you two is that, unlike what Dennis was asking, you both recognize that you're no longer friends.
oh yeah,
you both know that.
But I believe that was his intent.
That was his with what he did, that he
Yes.
obviously intended to do that.
Yes, and we're not going to get into how all of that happened and all of that, but the point is, yes, there is someone that did have a close friend, and yes, had to cut him out, done, finished.
Yes, but to Dennis's point, I never liked him.
Well, that's true. So, but
I didn't stop you from being friends with him.
Right.
Never did I try that.
No, you didn't.
I just convinced you that if you want to spend time with him, go right ahead, but leave me out of it.
Exactly. And then that's what we did. But, I guess because I knew it was coming. You know
did?
what I mean?
When did you know it was coming?
Again, I don't want to get into detail
like
of all
years
of this.
later, years before.
No, when I start noticing the things he's done to other people.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, my time is coming. I hope it doesn't. Maybe he changes his ways, but I knew it was coming.
Yes.
And it did come. But the point is, getting back to you never really caring for him. It was one of those things where I just, sometimes you just need to find things out for yourself, even though I knew.
Yes, because I was quite clear about why I didn't like him.
And I knew. So, but the deal is,
and he wasn't all bad. He did have some good qualities.
No, he wasn't all bad. But anyway, but here's the case where you, Jill, did not care for him. You allowed me to still have this relationship.
I don't think "allowed" is the right word. But I just didn't stop you from being friends with him.
In the end, the relationship did end. The friendship ended, and mostly because of the reasons you gave for
from day one,
for not really caring for him.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So my thing is, if your partner says, "Hey, I really don't care for that person that you hang with or you're friends with," maybe you should listen.
Well, you did listen. You never dismissed my point of view. You never dismissed it.
Mm-hmm.
But you had your reasons for liking him. And I was like, okay, I don't witness that. I've never witnessed that with him. But go for it. Just leave me out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And then, if you're in a friendship, you really need to take a look at how much the relationship is, the friendship is a give and take. Yes. Like I have another friend that I've been friends with for probably, 40 years now. And
I like him.
Yes. But
I've always liked him.
Yes. But him and I always, help each other out with no strings attached. He'll call me up. Hey, I got this thing. You want it? And vice versa. Or, he might call me up. Hey, I need your help with something. Can you help me? Fine, no problem.
Aren't you defining what a friendship is
Yes.
and should be?
Yes. So with this particular friendship that I had to end, when you take a look back and start counting up, whether it was a give and take relationship that you helped each other out all the time, it didn't hardly help me out.
But that's the thing I actually love about you is that you are a really nice guy. If most of the time you're willing to help someone if you see that they're in need.
Yes.
Or even when they don't ask, you'll help someone out.
Yes.
So that's one of the many qualities I love about you. So I don't think you keep track of that.
No, I don't keep track. And that's the thing, because I do things for people unselfishly.
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
looking for anything back.
Right.
But in
right.
this particular relationship, if you count up the years and you really start looking back and seeing that it's a one-sided relationship, well, okay, guess I didn't need that relationship anyway.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right. So the other friend that you were speaking about that I have liked from the beginning, you seem to have more in common. Not that you have to have a lot in common with your friends, but usually that's why you are friends.
But yeah.
That's what brings you together initially.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like lately I've been ending a lot of friendships, and I have been doing it exactly the way Dennis asked not to do it. I have been ghosting people. Like, I don't want to talk to them anymore, and I don't.
Well, yes, because here's the thing, and the way Dennis posed the question, do you ghost them or do you do it another way? I think it's actually specific to each individual.
Yes.
On
yes.
how you handle it.
Yes.
Because maybe the person comes, if you try to ghost them and they come back and notice that you're ghosting them, and they may say, how come you're ghosting me?
Right.
And then you might have
if they notice it all.
If they notice at all, they may not notice. But if you do ghost a person, and a lot of times that's the easiest way to do it. If they need more, they'll ask you.
Right.
So, and then you can discuss it. Well, because of this, and this. And that's not the type of friendship I want to have.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Same here. Here. And Dennis also made a point about sometimes someone thinks they're friends with you and they're not. You don't really consider them a great friend, but they think they're a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're thinking about ending your friendship with them and they have no clue about it. Like, like many times we like someone more than they like us. Many times in relationships, that's what happens. But most of the time, if you like someone and they like you, it's kind of, it's still a friendship most of the time. But years ago, someone that I thought was a friend because we were hanging out socially and, just having a lot of conversations. And then one time they had some great news to share. And apparently they had known this great news for quite a while.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, oh, well, why didn't you tell me? So I could, because I was truly happy for the person.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, well, you're not my friend. Like, what? I'm not? I had no idea. I thought we were friends.
So you've been on both sides of that.
I have. I truly thought we were friends. And that's why I was spending time with this person.
And so what was her reason for saying you weren't one of her friends?
She said I was just an acquaintance that she spoke to and sometimes hung with. So okay. I thought, which was true, I guess you could say, but I thought I don't spend time socially with people that I'm just an acquaintance with. So that's the difference for me. Acquaintances, yes. I will speak to you. I'll be nice to you. But the only time I would hang with you is if I'm with someone else or if I'm there for a different reason.
Right.
Not because you and I decided to just hang out together. That's not an acquaintance to me. That's a friend.
Yes. So, but that
But with
gets in.
her, it's a different definition.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. You know, I believe everyone has a different definition of what they believe a friend to be.
Right.
So some people, anybody they meet and they can have a good conversation with,
You're my
they'll say,
friend.
you're my friend. You're
Yes.
my friend. You're my friend.
Yes.
But maybe you are just acquaintances.
Right. Because
Um,
the thing I did agree with her on is that there are very few people I give the label friend
mhm.
to. I really don't have that many friends. I have more than you, though.
You have a whole lot more than me.
I do. So I understood what she was saying, but at the same time, I was hurt because I was
Yeah.
like, but I don't spend time with just acquaintances.
Yeah. So, but yeah, different definitions. So, I guess that's the way it goes sometimes.
It is.
It is interesting that you were on both sides of that, because usually people that are very selective in who they choose to call friend are usually spot on. They really do know who their friends
Yes.
are, but in this
yes.
case, she wasn't your friend.
She
was an
wasn't.
acquaintance.
Yes, I was her acquaintance.
Oh,
because there are
okay.
very few people that she, even fewer than I consider
Uh-huh.
friends. So I get it, but I was hurt.
Oh, sorry, you got hurt.
That's okay. We're, she and I are still acquaintances by her
Uh-huh.
definition. We still are. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And in my book, I already said, I believe a friendship is give and take, and you help each other out.
Yes.
But a true friend, you can find out who your true friends are.
Oh, can't you?
Like when
Can't
times
you?
get hard,
When times are hard
or times
and people
get
disappear.
That's right. Or the opposite, times get really, really good.
And then you have more, like, who are you
Yes.
again?
Yeah, then you
You
all of a
have
sudden
more
you
friends than you realize.
Yes.
Until things get hard.
Yeah.
And then nobody's around.
So, but my idea of a friend is someone that's going to, even if I hadn't talked to this friend in some time, maybe 6 months, and someone else can say, well, how can they be a friend if you only speak to them twice a year?
But you can pick up right where you left off.
Exactly.
And that person knows that you're going to be there for them in the good times and the bad times.
Yeah, but that's my point. So I'm getting at, if I were to call this person out of the blue in 6 months since we talked last, and I say, hey, I'm in a bind. Can you help me out with something? And they wouldn't give it a second thought. Sure, no problem. The same as I would do for someone else that I considered a friend. They call me up out of the blue, I haven't talked to them, but hey, I got an issue here. Can you help me with this? Sure. No problem. It's like family.
Yes.
Well, the family, everybody has different types. Yes. But most of my family members, I can call up anytime and say, hey, I got a problem. Can you help me with it? And they know they can do vice versa for me. So I look at my friends that way too. Even though I may not call on them for anything, but just to know I have a friend that's in my corner when I run into an issue.
And a friend who's in your corner when you succeed at something, who's not going to be resentful or jealous or any of that. That's a friend too.
Exactly. You hit that nail right on the head. Because you can have friends and
they make me sick.
You know what? That actually, I haven't thought about this in forever. But when I was young, when I was in my 20s, in my early 20s, I started making a whole lot of money, a lot of money for that time.
Okay.
And
did you have more friends?
No, actually, I ended up with less friends.
Oh, why is that?
When I start having money, and honestly, people say money will change you.
Yes.
But money didn't change me. I was the same person I always have been. But they had an issue with me like making 5 times as much money as them. They really had an issue with that.
Because they were jealous, or
I don't know. I never cared to ask them. They had
but how did you know that they had an issue?
Well, because they will say, "Oh, now you think you're too good for everybody because you
think
make
you all that.
you make money, right?" But no, I hadn't changed the way I treated anybody. The only thing that changed was my ability to buy what I wanted.
Right.
And even then, I'm not
You're not a flashy kind of guy.
Flashy guy. So, if I bought a used car, see, they would say things like, "Oh, see, now you have all that money, so you're buying but it's an old used car."
Right, right.
But being that I wasn't struggling anymore like them, they had an issue with it.
Right. Well, I'm glad, that we are a couple, because you often see things I don't. So you had to point out to me that someone I had called a friend for a long time, you pointed out to me that she seemed to only like me when I was in crisis.
Oh, yeah.
She thrived on that. Whereas when I was happy,
no support.
She didn't. I didn't even hear from her.
Yep. But
so
let you be miserable.
Yes. She was there.
Mm-hmm.
She was there to help me, pick me up.
Yeah, but it wasn't actually she was there to pick you up. She was there.
She thrived on that.
Yes, to enjoy some of the misery.
Yes.
Because that was her happy place.
Yes, which was like mind-blowing to me, because I had no idea until you started pointing it out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Because I knew I just couldn't figure out why I didn't always have that kind of support, or what I thought was support.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, because as soon as we got married and you were happy, you didn't hear from her anymore. Then if you reached out to her, she would say something really negative back to you.
Right. So, but it took you to open my eyes to that, because I just didn't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we should listen to each other more. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
And, from the very start. I don't like that person. Maybe you should think about not being friends with them.
Yes. But I think you and I are both usually right on point with who our real friends are.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're mostly right.
Yeah.
And you like my friends. I like your friends.
Yeah.
Except for the one that we started off this conversation talking about.
And you can ask me, well, why did you remain friends with him? Because if I remained friends with him that many years, I must have gotten something out of that relationship. I must have.
Yes.
Must have gotten something.
Well, you kept telling me, just like you like smart women, surrounding yourself with smart women, he's a smart man.
Yes.
You liked his intelligence.
Yeah, that was it. So if I were to say I never learned anything from him in those years, I would be lying. I have learned some things from him, but not anymore. So that's what I was getting in the relationship. I was getting knowledge.
Right. And you love knowledge.
Yes, I love knowledge.
Yes, you do.
It's one of the things I believe. It doesn't matter whether you have a higher education or how many degrees you have, everyone is still able to learn.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I do believe everyone should keep learning no matter what.
Yes. I even told my students last week, I said, I learned from you too. And they were like, what? Well, it's time to get to our second segment that we call
Give it a rest and a resolution.
Conclusion, resolution.
Oh, this is pretty easy. If your partner doesn't like the person you call a friend, maybe you should have a deeper conversation about that. And maybe you'll come to the same conclusion. Yeah, that person's not really for me.
Yes. I do agree with that. It does, like I said, you opened my eyes once I started listening to what you were saying. You definitely opened my eyes. So yes. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. With some people, you do have to ghost them.
Yeah.
That's just the easiest, best way for everybody. But other times, if you have a conversation with someone, they might be hurt, but they'll get over it.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe it's something that can be fixed. Maybe.
Maybe.
Because it gives that person an opportunity to grow.
Yes.
So, and maybe you will also grow because there was something you was missing, didn't see in your dynamics of a relationship, friendship.
Right. Well, let's get to our third segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
We've been given advice all along. Do you have any more?
Do I have any more? Go first, Jill.
My advice is when you're in a relationship with someone, there's you as a part of a couple and there's you as an individual. And sometimes there will be times where your partner doesn't like your friend, and that friend may have been in your life much longer than your partner. So my advice is to look within. If your partner really doesn't like the person who's been in your life longer than they have, consider that, don't make it an either or situation.
Okay. That's pretty good. It made me think of something else.
Okay.
Which is, yes, you should listen to your partner when it comes to friends. Maybe they see something you don't see. But if your partner is the type of person that tries to cut every single person out of your life, that friend is no good for you always. That friend is no good for you, or family member is no good for you. Has got something bad to say about every person you're connected to. That's another issue.
Run from the partner.
Yes, that is a run issue. That's run. She's trying to separate you from everyone you know and love.
That's a controlling person.
Yes, and you don't need that. So your partner is telling you all of that stuff, then you need to ghost them.
Yes, that is.
You're ghosted.
That's
Bye.
True. Well, let's get to our last segment that we call.
So, what do you think? What do you think?
Because I'm right.
Because I'm right.
Well, this was fun to create a whole episode from a call.
One call wasn't a whole episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. But okay,
so
yes.
You always think I'm going to say something out
because
of line.
We never can predict what you're going to say. That is a fact.
Oh my.
That's a fact. So listeners, we do want to hear from you. See what can happen? We can create a whole episode based on a call. So that number is...
What is that number?
404
594
2247. Oh, is that it? I'm glad you can...
404 594 2247.
Yes, that's it. I was thinking it was completely different last two digits, but you were correct.
See,
how about that?
Your COVID shots got you.
I guess so. Well, we need to do some shout outs. Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music, Nick Sinke for the art. And thank you, listeners. You've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right.
I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
That's it for this time.
All right. Have a great day. Love you all.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.